Hi there. Good evening, everybody. I want to welcome you all here to the Prog Monster. My name is Murph. I am the host of this show. So, we're here to do an episode of Look Back at a Classic Rock Album. Sorry, I seem to be leaking here. We're here to do an episode of Look Back at a Classic Rock Album. And the album I've chosen to do tonight is the debut album of Lynyrd Skynyrd. And it says underneath it, pronounced Lynyrd Skynyrd. Yeah, pretty. This is a absolutely masterpiece album. It's not in my masterpiece collection, but there's absolutely no doubt this will end up there now that I own it. I haven't owned it ever. I've had some greatest hits by them, but I've never actually owned a studio album by them. This is the first one. Now I have a couple, but I'm moving along. But I think this one is just so good, so good. So anyways, this was released. I'm going to use my notes here. This was released August the 13th, 1973. So, what's that, 52 years ago already. Recorded at Studio One in Dorisville, Georgia, in the United States of America. Sorry, I'm getting a little bit of a glare off of my glasses here. That's why I keep doing that. This is, of course, what you call Southern rock, hard rock, blues rock, if you want. About 43 minutes or so in length, which is pretty well within the borders of my wheelhouse type sound, what I like. On MCA record label and produced by Al Cooper. Okay, so the members of the band, we're going to go to this, because I'm getting too much glare off of the computer over there. And before we get too far into it, I'm just going to shut the computer down here so that it's not giving me a glare. So this is the booklet here. 7-member band, 7 members on the back there too, as you can see. So I'm going to give you the rundown of who's in the band here and what they're playing. So you got Ronnie Van Zant, all lead vocals here. Gary Rosington on lead guitar on Tuesday's Gone, Gimme 3 Steps, Things Going On, Poison Whiskey, and rhythm guitar on all the other tracks. Alan Collins on lead guitar on I Ain't the One, Freebird, and rhythm guitar on all the others. Ed King, lead guitar on Mississippi Kid, bass on all other tracks except Mississippi Kid and Tuesday's Gone. Billy Powell on keyboards, Robert Burns on drums, Leon Wilkinson on bass for the group up until the album was cut. Rejoined it shortly thereafter. And then in addition to that, you have some additional musicians here. You got Roosevelt Gook, I think that's how you pronounce it. Bass, mellotron, backup harmonies on Tuesday. It's Gone. Organ on Simple Man, mandolin on and bass, drum on Mississippi Kid, organ and on Poison Whiskey, and Freebird. Then you got Robert Nix on drums on Tuesday's Gone, Bobby Hall on percussion on Gimme 3 Steps and Things Going On, and Steve Katz rounding it out, doing harmonica on Mississippi Kid. So, lots of people playing lots of stuff on lots of songs. That's what I can say about it. This is a pretty solid album. I don't know if it's their best album because it's the first one I own, but I can't imagine them having anything that matches this. This is just fantastic. So you got, there's like 8 tracks on here. This actually has some bonus tracks on it as well, but we'll just talk about the 8 regular tracks on the album. So you've got Ain't the One, which is I Ain't the One. This one is kind of an up-tempo, guitar-driven, catchy track. The vocals are very catchy as well. It's a heavy bitching kind of catchy track with lots of heavy guitar soloing. One of the better I would call this one of their hits, I guess. There's 2 or 3 on here that I guess you would call hits. I Ain't the One. I think of that as a hit. Gimme 3 Steps, of course. Simple Man and Freebird are kind of the big tracks on the album. All like top-notch songs. Simple Man and Freebird probably considered their 2 biggest tracks, most well-known. often played on rock radio. Both considered among the best songs written by this band or in Southern rock. So I'm not going to say too much about those two tunes. If you don't know them, then I don't know why you're on here. The other tracks, Give Me 3 Steps and I Ain't the One. I've heard these on the radio too. Not so much in recent years because I don't really listen to the radio, but when it does come on at work, I've heard them on occasion. Ain't the One, definitely one of their better tracks at the top. Then we have songs like Tuesday's Gone. So some of the deeper cuts on here. Tuesday's Gone is kind of a low key, very emotional track, I think. The vocals are very catchy, very dominating, and you got lots of guitar riffing here. Not super heavy guitar riffing, but really good. The solo is heavy, slow, melodic, very catchy, very dominant. I think this is one of the better, what I would call deep cuts. Gets a good number from me too. Next up is Things Going On. This is also kind of a different song. I do like it. It's more of a bluesy track, although I don't generally like blues. I like the way they do it. It's got a lot more bite to it, I guess. Very vocally twang. The vocals are very twangy, very driven. Lots of ragtime piano on this track. Kind of like that a lot. It's kind of different. It's not something on any of their other tracks, but definitely a fine addition to this album. Next up is Mississippi Kid. This has a nice banjo, or maybe it's a mandolin. It could be either one. Probably a mandolin since they list it as instruments. Nice bluesy tracks, a nice southern sound, very strong. I would say the how do I put this? It's kind of a picky like solo sound to it. It's not like your standard kind of heavy guitar solo. It's just a picky sound, like he's just playing it really quite good. I like that. Then the last track that I haven't mentioned is Poison Whiskey. Pretty good song. It's probably the weakest on the album, but I don't think it's a bad song by any stretch. Nice up-tempo, catchy, bluesy, heavy bluesy track. Vocals are typical of Ronnie Van Zant here, just really good. It's got a little bit of a poppy flavor to it too, but I still think it's a little bit more of a blues track. And it gets quite heavy at points, but more of a melodic heaviness as opposed to a like grinding, hammering, driving type song. Yeah, a really good album. I think this, I can't imagine them having a better album than this, but maybe I'll be pleasantly surprised as we go along. I have been listening to them now for 40 plus years, but basically on the greatest hits I have now and the one I had it on vinyl before. Two different albums, so a lot of the hits I'm very familiar with. Some of the deeper stuff, which is quite good, maybe even better in some cases. The two big tracks on here, of course, Simple Man and Freebird. Both very emotional, heavy anthem. Well, I wouldn't call them anthem tracks, but really well-known tracks. You know, there's not enough you can say about them. But I think I'm not going to say too much about them because most people already know the songs. So anyways, that's my take on Lynyrd Skynyrd's debut album, released back in, I forgot what it was, back in 1973. I hope you've enjoyed this episode of Look Back at a Classic Rock Album. Please hit the like and subscribe. If you want to talk about Lynyrd Skynyrd's debut album or about them in whole, you can do that. Or if you want to talk about any particular track on the album, you can always do that. Or you can just talk, period. I'm okay with that too. Anyways, we'll see you all next Monday night for another look back at another classic. Thank you. Bye.